Right friends, welcome back to part 2 of Union Budget 2017-18, and we discussed a lot more about revenue receipts, capital receipts in part 1, and in this part 2 we are going to deliberate on details of budget. And here introductory aspects as per the budget documents. Here inflation was brought down to 3.4% in December 16. Then current account deficit was brought down from 1% last year, 1% of GDP, to 0.3% of GDP during the first half of 2016-17. Another important aspect as per the budget documents is FDI growth is 36% in first half of the current fiscal. FDI growth is 36%, and this is significant in view of the fact there is a overall reduction of 5% in global FDI flows. Foreign direct investment, please look into this slide. When foreign investment is coming to establish factories, companies in our country, that is known as foreign direct investment. It is stable, it creates employment, it aids GDP growth, and it sometimes leads to technology transfer and establishment of these companies with foreign investment is example of foreign direct investment, and foreign portfolio investment is something different that we are going to deliberate a while from now. And other important aspect, foreign exchange reserves are at comfortable $360 billion, which are sufficient to cover 12 months of imports. Last year, during the last financial year, our imports were around $380 billion. Our imports of mercantile goods last year were around $380 billion, and our foreign exchange reserves as on date is around $360 billion, and these are sufficient to cover almost 12 months of imports, and technical name is import cover. Import cover means the foreign exchange reserves available to cover imports. So, import cover is the normal term used in economy, and as per macroeconomic perspective, countries should have foreign exchange reserves to cover at least 10 months of imports, and we have coverage for 12 months. Then, two landmark decisions of goods and services tax as well as demonetization of high value notes took place in 16-17, and demonetization of high value notes will reduce corruption, eliminate the menace of counterfeit notes as well as terror financing. That is as per the budget documents. This is about GST and demonetization. And now challenges for 2017-18 as per the budget documents. Budget document specified certain challenges. These are very much important. First one is there is lot of uncertainty across the world subsequent to major economic and political developments in 2016-17. There is lot of uncertainty. There are instances like Brexit as well as Donald Trump victory. There is a lot of uncertainty, so because of which there may be uncertain factors may prevail in 2017-18 also. Then US Federal Reserve's decision to increase policy rates. US Federal Reserve recently increased policy rates slightly, and during 2017 also it is going to increase, and when policy rates are increased, then capital flows will be reduced and capital outflow may take place from emerging countries like India. Here you should have clear idea about this issue. What this issue says about, one is foreign portfolio investments. Previously we discussed about foreign direct investment, which establishes companies like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Nestle, and here this is foreign portfolio investment. You can call it a passive investment. Foreign portfolio investors with the approval of SEBI will invest in Indian stock market. That is known as capital flows, and capital flows may be reduced because of Federal Reserve's decision of increasing interest rates. What is the meaning of it? When Federal Reserve is increasing interest rates, then the foreign portfolio investors may not show much inclination to invest in countries like India. India is one example of emerging market, and the sentence also talks about capital flight. This is capital flow, that means from foreign countries investing in stock market is capital flow, and capital flight means the reverse flow of capital. Sometimes it may take place suddenly. When capital is flown out suddenly from our stock markets, then it may lead to asset crashes as well as depreciation in currencies. So, this signifies what is the meaning of capital flight. So, the meaning of this sentence, US Federal Reserve's decision to increase policy rates in 2017 may lead to lower capital inflows. That means in foreign portfolio investments, the capital inflow to emerging countries may be reduced, and at the same time it may also result in capital outflows or capital flight, right? So, this sentence talks all about this. Then there is uncertainty over commodity prices, especially crude oil. Crude oil prices increased from $45 a barrel to $55 a barrel recently, and there is also expectation that it may further increase. If it is further increased, it may have adverse effect on the Indian economy. Then signs of retreat from globalization. More and more protective walls are being built, and nowadays people are talking about anti-immigration policies, anti-globalization policies, protectionism, nativism, ultra-nationalism. So, these are becoming buzzwords, and the winds of protectionism in goods services people is building up. This is opposite to globalization. Then, if you look at further aspects, transformational reforms in 2016-17, previously those 4 points we discussed were the global uncertainties and its effect on Indian economy. Now, this paragraph says transformational reforms in 2016-17 undertook by the government. First one is passage of Constitution Amendment Bill for GST, then demonetization of high denomination banknotes. This demonetization of high denomination banknotes are projected in the positive perspective in the budget. Negative aspects of it are not discussed in budget papers. Then during the current year, another major policy change is Monetary Policy Committee. 6-member Monetary Policy Committee was constituted. Previously, Reserve Bank of India Governor has got many powers as far as Monetary Policy Committee is concerned, and now it made 3 external members, 3 internal members. And next point is inflation target is also given by the government to the Reserve Bank of India. Inflation target is 4% plus or minus 2%, and to expedite the dispute resolution mechanism, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code was passed during the year. So, these are the things mentioned in the budget documents. Aadhaar Act for disbursement of financial subsidies and benefits so as to plug the leakages was passed during the current year, and budget date was advanced to 1st February to eliminate vote on account, merger of rail budget with general budget, removal of plan and non-plan classification. So, these are all flagged by the government as achievements of 2016-17 in the budget documents. Then, demonetization was also mentioned in the budget documents. Basically, it was mentioned that demonetization decision was taken to curb tax evasion and reduce the proliferation of parallel economy or black economy, and basically to eliminate corruption, black money, counterfeit currency and terror funding. And it was also mentioned there may be short term pain But long-term benefits are much more. As per the budget documents, it will ultimately reduce corruption with greater digitization, increased flow of financial savings and greater formal economy. And if you look at further points of demonetization, surplus liquidity in the banking system is expected to lower the borrowing costs, and other welfare measures announced by the Prime Minister were also mentioned in the budget documents. Right. And finally, before going into the budget item by item, agenda for 2017-18 as per the budget documents is transform, energize and clean India, or Tech India. This word Tech India was coined in the budget, and as per Tech India, the first point is to transform the quality of governance and basically to improve the quality of life of the people. Then second point is energize various sections of society, basically youth. In tech, T means transform, transforming the governance. E means energizing various sections of society, especially the youth, and clean the country from the evils of corruption. So Tech India, that is the buzzword of this budget. Having learnt all these things, let us look at various aspects of budget. Various aspects of budget are divided into 10 distinct agendas, or you can say 10 distinct aspects. Starting from farmers right up to tax administration, this is divided into 10 distinct aspects, and we are going to deliberate one by one, some of them in this part and remaining things in the next part. Right, let us start with farmers. Here, various aspects pertaining to farmers I listed here. Farmers' rural development was given topmost weightage in the budget, and the schemes announced along with allotments I am going to explain. And more than that, what you should not forget is with regard to various schemes, for what purpose they are intended for. The first one is agriculture credit. 10 lakh crores agriculture credit for 2017-18 is kept at record level of rupees 10 lakh crores. Please don't forget, government gives interest subvention on short-term crop loans up to rupees 3 lakh for farmer, and interest subvention is 2% if I am not wrong. Farmers are getting loans at just 7%, and if they are paying back in time, another 3% will be given by the government as interest subvention. Then the effective interest to be paid by the farmers will be just 4%. Then 60-day interest waiver was already announced by the Prime Minister on 31st December. Then another important decision is government will support NABARD for computerization and integration of all 63,000 primary agriculture credit societies with the core banking system of district central cooperative banks. Primary agriculture credit societies will be linked with district central cooperative banks, and this will facilitate seamless flow of credit to the rural areas. And with the core banking system with district central cooperative banks, then PACS can work with more and more transparency, and this will be piloted by NABARD, and this will be done over a period of 3 years at an estimated cost of rupees 1900 crore. The next point is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. For this, rupees 9000 crore was allotted. More than that, you should not miss the point. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is innovative agricultural crop insurance scheme which covers post-harvesting damages also. And here, during 2016-17, 30% of cropped area was covered. During 2017-18, the area will be increased to 40%, and it will be increased to 50% in 2018-19. And here the premium, please don't forget, 2%, 1.5% and 5. Please recollect with regard to premiums. Then soil health cards. This is one important aspect. Government's target is to give soil health cards to 14 crore farmers of the country. In the country, 14 crore farmers are there, and here soil health cards will be given, and they will have meaning if they are provided with soil sample testing in the near vicinity. Soil sample testing in the near vicinity must be there, then only this soil health cards will have some meaning. And keeping that in mind, what the government has done is, it is going to establish mini labs for testing soil samples. Mini labs will be established in all the 648 Krishi Vignan Kendras. Krishi Vignan Kendras are situated in almost all the district headquarters, and their mini laboratories will be established for testing of soil samples. Right? So, if you go on further, next point is long-term irrigation fund. This will be maintained by NABARD, and previously rupees 20,000 crore was announced as corpus, and it is increased by another 20,000 crore so as to make it total corpus of rupees 40,000 crore. And please don't forget, long term irrigation fund will be maintained by NABARD, basically to extend protected irrigation facilities. Then another important aspect from this year's budget is dedicated micro irrigation fund. Dedicated micro irrigation fund will be established, and this will also be maintained by NABARD. You may have a doubt, what is the purpose of micro irrigation fund? The purpose of micro irrigation fund to increase the water efficiency. It should be per drop, more crop. So, one example is sprinkler irrigation. With the sprinkler irrigation, then the output for each drop of water can be increased. One example I have told you, and this will be implemented with a corpus of rupees 5,000 crore. This will be maintained by NABARD. Then another important aspect is this electronic national agriculture market. Electronic national agriculture market facilitates farmers to get more and more transparent prices. And at present, electronic national agriculture market is available at 250 markets, and this will be expanded to 585 mandis. And for each national agriculture market, assistance up to rupees 75 lakhs will be provided by the central government. And next point is to give impetus to dairy processing, basically to improve the quality aspects and to enhance the facilities. Dairy processing and infrastructure development fund will be set up. Dairy processing and infrastructure development fund will be set up by NABARD with a corpus of rupees 2,000 crore, and this will be increased to rupees 8,000 crore over 3 years. Right? So, these are all the aspects pertaining to farmers. And let us look at rural population. For rural population, this government's aim is to bring 1 crore households out of poverty by 2019. 1 crore households out of poverty by 2019, and to make 50,000 gram panchayats poverty free by 2019. 50,000 gram panchayats poverty free by 2019, the year we celebrate 150th anniversary of Gandhiji. Then government flagged one important information, that women's participation in Mahatma Gandhi Narega increased to 58% from 48%. Women's participation increased from 48% to 58% under Mahatma Gandhi Narega. You may have a doubt what is meant by Mahatma Gandhi Narega. Mahatma Gandhi Narega is the rural flagship program of central government, where here 100 days of paid employment will be assured for each and every adult citizen of rural part of the country. And this year, the highest ever allocation will be 48,000 crores for that. But if you compare with the revised estimate of 16-17, it is only incremental increase of just 1%. Then farm ponds. Farm ponds will be given topmost priority under Mahatma Gandhi Narega. When ponds are created, then ultimately water table will increase, groundwater table will increase. Here farm ponds under Mahatma Gandhi Narega is given lot of emphasis, and against the target of 5 lakh farm ponds, 10 lakh will be completed by March 17 and another 5 lakh will be taken up during 2017-18. Right? Look into the next aspect. Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. This will be expedited, and here this is, as I have already told you, provision of all weather roads to all the habitations where the population is 500 and above in plain areas, 250 and above in tribal areas, 100 and above in border areas, as well as left-wing extremism districts. Then another point is, government has taken up the task of connecting habitations with more than 100 persons in left-wing extremism affected blocks under Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, and with the state's share, it is 27,000 crores of rupees. Central government's share is 19,000 crores of rupees, if I am not wrong. Then lot of emphasis is given for Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, when it is increased from rupees 15,000 crore to rupees 23,000 crore, and the government's intention is to complete 1 crore houses by 2019 and housing for all by 2022. 100% village electrification under Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana will be completed by 1st May 2018. Then if you look at further aspects, sanitation coverage in rural area has gone up from 42% to about 60% now because of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Then 28,000 arsenic and fluoride affected habitations will be taken up for provision of safe drinking water, and skills will be imparted, especially mason training will be given to 5 lakh persons, and total allocation is also increased substantially. And if you look at youth, here please don't forget certain important aspects are there. Swayam, all of you are familiar with the Swayam. Swayam is online platform for online education. It is the platform for online education. Swayam means study webs of active learning for young aspiring minds. Study webs of active learning for young aspiring minds, and this platform with the help of ICT to be launched with at least 350 online courses. Then National Testing Agency will be set up, and for conducting entrance examinations to higher educational institutions like AIIMS, IITs, there will be one national testing agency that will be instituted. Then Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Kendras. This Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Kendras for skill development will be extended to more than 600 districts across the country, and 100 India International Skill Centers will also be established. Then skill acquisition, 2 important schemes. One is Sankalp, the other one is Strive. These 2 schemes were announced in the budget. Sankalp means skill acquisition and knowledge awareness for livelihood promotion program. Skill acquisition and knowledge awareness for livelihood promotion program, or Sankalp. This will be provided basically to give market relevant training. Market relevant training is the need of the hour, because there is lot of skill gap between the demand as well as the availability of skills. So as to bridge that gap, to give market relevant training to 3.5 crore youth, 4,000 crores was allocated. This program is the Sankalp, basically to give market relevant training. Then Strive, skill strengthening for industrial value enhancement. Skill strengthening for industrial value enhancement, that will be launched in 17-18 at a cost of rupees 2,200 crore. What is the purpose of Strive? The purpose is improving the quality of occasional training, basically in ITIs, Industrial Training Institutes, occasional training quality will be improved. The program for that is Strive, that will be launched at a cost of rupees 2200 crores. These two, that is Sankalp and Strive, are announced new. So please don't forget about these two programs. Then Incredible India 2 will be launched, basically to promote tourism and employment, right? So further things we will continue under part 3. Please do join for part 3, and with that budget aspects will be completed totally. Right friends, let us see in part 3. Have a nice day. Thank you.